All right, guys. So we're here at Columbus Weightlifting Endeavor. We're going to talk very, very briefly about two really basic exercises to help you guys with shoulder stability. So there's been some talk about achy shoulders and losing jerks overhead and things like that. And one of the causes of that isn't necessarily mobility, isn't necessarily strength. Sometimes it is actual stability. So how you're catching, how your shoulder's operating to brace and things like that. So we're going to show you two really easy exercises that you guys can wrap your head around. Use them during warm-ups, use them during cool-down. Try to get a little bit religious about these things, but don't turn them into a big issue. The first one we're going to talk about is a basic kettlebell exercise. So there's two ways you can do this. The first one we're going to do is just going to be a little bit easier, where you're going to actually take the kettlebell, hold it up onto your chest, okay, get flat on your back, and you're going to set up essentially how you would set up for a Turkish get-up. So I'm going to put my right foot in nice and tight. I'm going to press the kettlebell out. Before I go anywhere, the first thing I'm going to do is make sure that I'm locking the elbow out, pressing the kettlebell towards the ceiling, but at the same time, I'm pulling my shoulder blade back and down. So I'm stabilizing from behind using the lats, as opposed to pushing and using the delt and the pec. So I'm pulling the shoulder blade back and down, locking the elbow out towards the ceiling. From here, I'm going to start to roll to the side. So I push through this foot, roll all the way to the side, keeping my shoulder blade pulled down. I'm going to kick the foot over top. And I'm pulling again down with the lat, but locking out with the elbow. The goal is to get your pec to shut off from this point. Okay, so we don't want to be pressing and driving with the delt from here. I want to be stabilizing into the shoulder blade, locking out the elbow, and holding from that position. So this is one place to start. Start with a relatively light kettlebell. Another way you can do this, kind of up the ante a little bit, is actually to go bottoms up. So what you're going to do is hold from the horn with the bottom of the kettlebell facing up, elbow locked out. Again, focus on pulling the shoulder blade back, keeping everything locked out. Push through here, slow, nice, easy motion. And again, we're focusing on pulling the shoulder blade down and back, elbow locks out, and making sure the pec shuts off. Again, I'm not driving forward, flexing from here. Really focus on pulling that shoulder blade back and down and relaxing the front. Okay, hold about 10 seconds on each side. 3 to 5 sets during warm-up, just easy stuff. Do them in between your warm-up sets. Really simple place to go. If you don't have a kettlebell, or if the kettlebell drill is a little bit too much for you, or if you're just in a crunch, a really easy way to kind of get that same exact setup is to go ahead and go into a side plank, but you're going to start nice and easy by going elbow and knee. Make sure the elbow is directly underneath the shoulders, so don't have the chest rotating forward. I'm going to stay completely upright, elbows back into the shoulder. I'm going to flex, pulling that lat. I'm going to pull my hips up from the ground. Again, I'm just on my knees. One hand's on my hip from here, and again, we're focusing on pulling the lat back and down, relaxing the pec, not flexing from the front in here. If this gets nice and tight, we know that you're dumping all your stability into your delt, into your trap, into your pec, where we want that stability of the shoulder to be back into the lat. So I kind of grab onto your boob, shake it around a little bit, make sure your pec's not firing. Hold this, again, 10, 15, 20 seconds, nothing too crazy, nothing too kind of out of hand. So start throwing those into your warm-up. Like I said, 3 to 5 sets, 10 seconds each side. Don't go too crazy with it. When it comes to the kettlebell, it's not about how heavy the kettlebell is, it's about how well you're operating. So lighter kettlebell is better than heavier kettlebell. It's not like some crazy, massive weighted strength project. Last but not least, when you're getting into it, the other thing I want you guys to start thinking about when you go into warm-ups is make sure when you're in your front rack, anything you're doing, that you're actually pulling and driving those shoulder blades back and in. If we get in the habit of having a bad start when we get set up in that rack, you're automatically going to be firing and locking into the delts into the front. That's not what we want. Again, in this position, we talk about that bone-on-bone structure. I've got to have the lats pulled back and down, the shoulder blades rocked here. I can't get bone-on-bone if I'm driving and flexing in this position. All right? So you've got mobility, you've got strength, but you've also got stability. Start throwing these into your warm-up, see how they help you guys out a little bit, and we'll see you later.